Hi everyone. So today we are gonna do a video on Rahu and Ketu, which in English, in Vedic it's called Rahu and Ketu, and in Western astrology it's called South Node and North Node axis. And even though it is very integral, very integral part of astrology, but I really wanna talk about this axis in a very new and almost like very innovative angle, because I truly believe that this is the only axis in astrology that really revolves around energy, and how to transmute energy and how to use this axis to really uh, get into the realm of magic. And what is magic? When we say magic, it's not some kind of course, it's not something um, like abracadabra. Yeah, it can be, because magic is something that is very mystical, but that mysticism comes from this deep sense of knowing of old forgotten knowledge. So it's not something coming out of complete baseless, like a just a presence of something that we don't have no knowledge of understanding. We have a deep understanding of that, but over the period of time, over different situation through society, we somehow forgotten that old wisdom. And when you get into tap into that old wisdom, we tap into the realm of magic. So I really want to do this axis and get a very unique perspective. I have been studying on this for quite a while, and I studied, trust me, like all these different kind of writings and videos about Rahu, Ketu, South Node, North Node, both Western and Vedic, and but I don't know, when I was listening to them, I felt like they all gave me some bits of knowledge, but I still felt dissatisfied to understand the core essence of this axis. And I have been researching, thinking, meditating on this for quite a while, and now I feel like um, I reached somewhere which um, I'm ready to share. And of course, that this knowledge gonna evolve and evolve as we go through it. Let's get into this Rahu and Ketu axis. Let's talk about, before we get into the essence, the energy, the um, energetical atmosphere of Rahu and Ketu, and how it motivates us throughout our life. In Vedic astrology, it says that we get birth in the form of physical body on earth because of Rahu and Ketu. So we are going to get deep into this knowledge and deep into this energetical. I really want to talk about energetical essential knowledge of Rahu and Ketu axis more than anything else. But before I get into that, let's talk about Rahu and Ketu movement. So you can see, this is sun, right? And this is earth. The moon is orbiting around earth, and so there is like a sun orbit, then there is a moon orbit. And when the moon is circling around the earth, it creates, because there is a sun, and it creates two shadow points. So Rahu and Ketu is not actually the planet. They are the shadow points, two shadow points of the moon orbit. So moon is very important. We are gonna go deep into this knowledge of importance of moon in our life, which is like unbelievable. Maybe that's why in Vedic astrology the moon is the prime planet, even over sun. Moon decides everything in Vedic astrology. But yeah, so so you see, this is how, when the moon is orbiting around earth, it creates these two shadow points, and those two shadow points are called Rahu and Ketu. In English we can call it south node, and this is one in the south, one in the north. So this is called Rahu, Yeah, so so this 2 point is Rahu and Ketu, south node and north node. All right, so I just wanted to, and they are, not many people know about this fundamental, so I just wanted to introduce the fundamental before I go into deeper into the energetical essential knowledge. So they are completely 180-degree opposite, but they are the same body. They are the same thing. They're the two end of the same axis. Okay, so that's Rahu and Ketu movement. So you can see, so because it's Rahu and Ketu is not a physical planet to hold on to, these are the points that are created but through the movement of moon around earth. So that means that these 2 points are also signifier of path upon the self develop. So we develop ourselves on this path of Rahu and Ketu. It is, in other words, it can also be called, it is the environment within which the self, means us, travels. So environment, please keep a note of that word environment, which is very, very important word in order to understand moon, in order to understand energetical shift, in order to understand how to transmute energy. The environment is very important in astrology, as well as energy, as well as understanding energy. Okay, like we said, the Rahu and Ketu, they don't have a tangible planet um, designated to them, right? They are a points of orbit between sun orbit and moon orbit. So that's why it is very important, before we understand this axis, it is important to understand what is sun energy and what is moon energy. I'm gonna not gonna go too deep into this because I already have done 2 videos very elaborately when I was doing the archetypical energy of each astrological sign. So if you're really interested to learn more about the essence of sun energy and the essence of moon energy, please go ahead and check the videos that I've done. For one sun, I specifically did for Leo, archetypical energy of Leo, and the moon is archetypical energy of Cancer. I'm going to link those 2 links down below. If you're interested, please go ahead and check. You're going to get a lot of very thorough information over there. All right, so I'm just going to say, I'm going to go and talk about this sun and moon energy a little bit here. So sun, as you all know, sun is the energy of a soul. Sun is our soul. So soul, when you talk about energy, soul energy is a unified energy. Sun does not. Sun is a very, very auspicious energy. The sun holds this soul energy, govern this soul energy, and soul energy does not understand any kind of distinction, any kind of separation, any kind of prejudice between people, between caste, between ethnicity, between language. No difference. Soul energy is the energy of unification. Soul energy thrives. So soul energy in Vedic is called the Vishnu energy, the existence, the energy of existence itself. And there is that's why soul energy is the, that when you say, what you, who you are, be yourself, we are talking about be the soul of you. So when we be truly ourselves, we are already unified with the unity energy, the one energy. So there will be no conflict, there will be no war, there will be no jealousy, like nothing. There will be a harmony, complete harmony, if we all identify ourselves. That's why when we talk about Rahu Ketu also, I'm just gonna insert this thing while I'm talking about moon and sun, because it came to my mind. Rahu and Ketu, or south node and north node, it's also called, the Ketu is the path of moksha. Moksha means liberation. Is it a liberation? What is liberation? It's actually, moksha means recognizing self-realized. When you say self-realized, we think that they found God, but God is, as per the Vedic astrology and in this study, it's not about it's about finding God within oneself. And when we find, and what is God? God is nothing but soul energy. God is nothing but finding oneself is nothing but soul energy vibrating with the energy of oneness. But that is soul. But we are born in, so that is sun. So sun is very simple and direct. Sun has no complexity. It's very, very, very just unified one energy. But we are born on this earth. We are born on this earth with lot of, earth is not very compatible environment for us. We have to curve. That's why we are born here, so that we can learn all the skills to how to harvest, how to nurture our soul, even under this this extreme cacophony sometimes, how to transmute. So that's why energy is so important. Energy, we are not talking about energy just in the realm of occult, or in the realm of astrology or tarot or some kind of things, even in the science. Because we are maturing our brain enough to get into energy realm, even with the help of science, because science can be very limiting, when it comes to really know the unknown. Science, we are not yet there, but we are still, now we are getting there in the energy. If you follow any physics, like what's happening in the world of physics and science, everything is nothing but energy. You all know that right now. So so that's why it's very important to understand like how to transmute our energy, because that is the purpose of the moon. So that's why in Vedic astrology, moon is given the highest priority even over the sun, because sun is something that is permanent, that is there. I am here. Sun is like, okay, I am here. I am the soul energy. But moon is the person. Moon is the energy that really understand that, okay, we are not in the ideal situation. We are born in a situation, in a planet where there are lot of adversities as well as lot of beauties. So my energy as moon is to transmute this adversity in my advantages, so that I can experience my soul, because ultimately we are all want to experience this soul, because that is the purpose, in order to get into this essence of unity. And we know that as we are evolving and the earth is evolving, we know that division and separation is not the answer to anything. It cannot be, it's not sustainable. So in order to really survive on this planet harmonically, the only way we can do is by getting into soul energy. So the sun is soul energy and moon is the mind energy. If you last I think this week, early this week, I did the video first, my first class to my master class that I'm doing, step by step master class, how to read energy, how to transmute energy, how to get into sync into the energy, energetical vibration. I talked about how to, in order to really get into energetical vibration, we need to, the ultimate goal is to transform the mind energy to soul energy. So that's what, so that so the sun is the soul energy and the moon is the mind energy, which is also very, very important. So in order to transmute that moon mind energy into soul energy, we have to do all the work that we do on this earth is revolves around moon only, because soul is already there, but we don't know how to access this soul, most of them, most of us. And and so we need to, that's why our life revolves around moon. That's why our life revolves around this south node and north node and Rahu and Ketu axis, which creates the environment. I'm gonna get more into the environment later in the part. So the moon, moon main energy is to first of all, moon understand, as I said, that it's not ideal scenario that we are here, and we need to make it ideal in order to experience solar energy. Moon understand that. One. Number two, so what moon has to do in order to, moon has to, that's why moon has no enemy, because moon knows that in order to really get somewhere, I cannot make enemies. I need to vibe with, I need to vibe with the environment that I'm given to. That's why moon is very exalted in Taurus. Do you know why? Because Taurus is not bothered about, you know, actual we also need to understand the Taurus energy in a very essential way, because please go and check my archetypical energy of Taurus as well. You will know, learn about lot of that. What is Taurus energy? Taurus energy is not about just a material gain, it's not about security. Taurus energy is being in the moment so incredibly, because Taurus is fixed sign in earth element. So that's why moon is exalted in Taurus. Can you imagine? Moon is the most changeable phase or planet, and it is exalted is something which is earth and fixed. Why it is? Think about it. Because Taurus is, even though it's earth and fixed, but it is fixed in the energy of changeability. It is fixed in the energy of changeability, because Taurus really, in Taurus knows, like, you know, when it is very strong Taurian energy, knows that how to be in the moment. They are very much good at mindfulness, and when you are in the moment, you have no enemy, because you are completely free of judgment, you are completely free of expectation, you are completely free of resentment. You are in the moment, you are engulfed by the senses to experience the earthy sensation, to understand your environment. So that is what Taurus energy is. So that's why moon is exalted in Taurus. So, you know, moon responsibility here is to really actualize sun energy, which is soul energy. So that's why moon is our mind. You know, moon is you know, it is friend with everybody. It friends with Mercury, it friends with Venus, it friends with Jupiter, it friends with everybody, because moon knows that everybody is playing a role. Nobody is superior, nobody is inferior. We are all here, because that's why moon is given. Moon is also ruled by Cancer, which is the archetypical energy of mother. Mother knows that we are a family. We are family. Nobody is outcast, nobody is inferior, nobody is superior. We are a family. We are all working together to a single goal, which is to enrich the family, enrich the nourishment of the family environment. That's why moon is given, ruled by Cancer, Cancerian energy. These are the nitty-gritty of understanding that I know astrology is very beautiful when you are not locked in these facts, and understand with your intuit intuition. Then all this knowledge gonna really open up a whole different world around us. um so anyway, so moon, that's why moon, so the moon jobs is really that's why moon is friend with everybody, because moon knows that there is no, you know, nobody good, nobody bad, nothing. Everybody is working towards achieve to soul energy. That's why moon is there. So okay, so, and moon is also not afraid of things. Moon is not afraid of change. Moon is not afraid of death. Moon, because moon is exalted in Taurus. And what is Taurus? As I said, Taurus is accept things as it is. Accept things as it is. No embellishment, no nothing. You know, it's like accept things as it is, because as it is the thing they are. They are completely holistic and full in their own existence. There is nothing to be added, nothing to be subtracted. It's a accept thing as it is. So moon is, that's why moon is fearless. Moon is absolutely fearless. If you know, even if our, compare this moon and moon energy with our family archetype, you will see that when the real, you know, when the shit is the fan, is the mother, is the, it doesn't have to be mother, but this mother energy, this moon energy takes the control. Is the, you know, like, you know, nothing is out of boundary. Nothing is like, when a mother energy puts a mind into save something or protect their children or protect a family, they are more ferocious. They are more like much more effective than our archetypical energy of a father. So that's what moon is. Moon is absolutely fearless, because moon is here to, because moon is given the ultimate role to transmute the energy of our environment. I think many of you know about these chakras that we have. It's a point in our body. We have total 7 chakras. The 7 main chakras. You know, the lowest chakras is called root chakra. This is called sacral chakra, solar plexus, heart chakra, throat chakra, and then the third eye chakra and the crown chakra and the top. And each chakras, these are the pointers in our body which really activates. Which is like if our body is a funnel, these chakras are the gate point. If these gate points are closed or blocked, we cannot really, the energy cannot flow all together in our body. That's why, nowadays, I especially since I have been living in Indonesia. Oh my God, this is unbelievable eye-opening experience I'm having, because how, there are many places in Eastern medicine, whether you take it acupuncture or reiki or energy flow, different kind. I don't know all the name of this, but they are heavily practiced here, especially in the city of Ubud. And like how these things, how these, like how energy points, when these energies are blocked or not flowing well enough, it creates a lot of tension, and that tension is the manifestation of lot of physical illness that we can heal by transmuting energy, by circulating energy. So energy is the everything, is the backbone of our existence, as we are, because we are getting to know the world around us is very different than how we used to know, be like in a cause and effect way before. But now everything is dynamic, everything is energy oriented. So anyway, because it's not that, okay, I just want to say, it's not that things were different before and now, because our knowledge of our understanding of the things is changed. The things have always been based on energy, but we never understood, like 200 years ago or 50 years ago, maybe understood, but never knew how to execute that knowledge into our practical application of daily existence. But anyway, so these pointers are also associated with different planets. So like um, as you can see, this root chakra here, the lowest chakra, is related to Mars. Then this, the second one, sacral chakra, is related to Mercury. So root chakra, Mars, I don't want to go detail into chakras, because this is not the video of chakras, but I just want to give you a little knowledge so that you understand what I'm actually trying to talk about when I'm going to talk about Rahu and Ketu and the significance of the moon. So the root chakra is ruled by Mars. So that's why Mars is very instinctive. It's a protection, because it's sitting, it's directly, our root chakra is at the lowest point, which is directly connected with the earth. So we feel the vibration. That's why Mars is very instinctual. If it feels something unsafe, it feels something, it's wanna protect itself. So root chakra is about protection. So this Mars is there. Then the second one is the sacral chakra, which is ruled by Scorpio, the sacral chakra, and partially Libra. But anyway, so this planet is all about creativity, is all about, because we create from our gut. When you get more into, as my masterclass progresses, I'm gonna go deeper into the integration of the body, how our body is the creation of everything. So like so our gut, our navel is the connection to the ancestral knowledge. Navel is the, that's where we create. Have you heard of this expression that, when you hear something that really touches us, and it's like move us, and we feel like, oh my God, we say that sometimes we really, oh my, they are singing from core inside. What does that mean, core inside? That is the sacral chakra we are talking about. That's why it's ruled by Mercury. Mercury is the planet of creation, it is a planet of creativity. And then this is the solar plexus chakra. Solar plexus chakra is all about balance, because it's right in the in our right under the chest, and it is about this balance, it is about integrity, it is about this wisdom. That's why it's ruled by Jupiter. Then we come to heart, which is all about love, which is all about inclusion, which is all about openness, is ruled by Venus. And then we go to throat chakra. Throat chakra is all about, even though it's throat, we say communication, so immediately think it should be ruled by Mercury. But no, the communication, what we do with the communication, come through communication. Communication is the biggest power nowadays. In the age of Kali Yuga, communication is the most important part. Whether you are communicating through words, whether you are communicating through body language, whether you are communicating through silence, or whether you are communicating through signs, whether you are communicating through any form. But communication, through communication, we are creating what is right, what is wrong, what is accepted, what is not. Through communication, we protest against something. We don't like something, we protest. We feel like, okay, somebody is getting deprived, somebody is getting cheated on, we protest, or we became silent. Whatever choice we make, but through communication, we choose right and wrong, which we choose between morality and non-morality. We choose between our karma or dharma. All these things comes with communication. That's why it's ruled by Saturn. Throat chakra is ruled by Saturn. And the third eye chakra, which is this, the Om chakra, which is sixth chakra, is ruled by Sun. Remember that the the third eye chakra is ruled by Sun. Why it is ruled by Sun? What is what third eye chakra does? Third eye means is a different eye. Through third eye we can see ourselves, because we really cannot see ourselves, because our physical eye is looking outward. Then how we can look inward? That's why every time in meditations or anything that is deep enough rooted into our bodily structure, you will always see that in order to in order to look at oneself, one needs to get out of oneself. Because if you are too involved in ourselves all the time, we don't know what we are doing right, what we are doing wrong, how we are hurting other, how we are loving other, because we are so much engulfed, so much encompassed by the detail of our daily existence, that we don't see the bigger picture of our own self. The only way we can see that is when we take ourselves out of ourselves. And that is third eye chakra, and that is Sun. Like when the Sun is poor, then we are full of ego. But when his Sun is strong, then Sun can detach ego from this sense of self. Then Sun is the most powerful when Sun can detach itself from the sense of ego. So that's why third eye is ruled by Sun, because his ultimate goal is to see yourself from outside of yourself, so that you can see yourself better, so that you can see where your energy lies, where your soul energy is vibrating. And you can see the highest point of this chakra is given to the Moon. Moon is the mind. Moon is sitting on the crown, and Moon is outside of our body. This is very important. Please take a note of this point. Why this crown chakra is outside of our body? Crown chakra is sitting on our head, which is opening our body to the cosmos. Our body is completely, what is that called? There is no open. Yes, there is open because of, we have, especially with genitalia, especially with mouth, we have openness to our body. But the body is openness, and that whatever we are taking, we are just, that openness is the outlet of our body to excrete or intake or outtake of the body through outside. But the crown chakra is something that opens up, that's like opens up our body to completely different realm. This opening that we have, our other opening, those are the bodily, those openings are to facilitate bodily function. But the crown chakra opening is not for the bodily function. This is for the function of the soul, function of the mind, so that we can connect with not only the 3D realm that we found ourselves, but the realm that we came from, but the realm that is all around us. That's why moon is so important to understand. Moon is our mind. Moon opens up. Moon, if you have a strong moon is the only way we can get in touch with the other realm. We can really understand who we are as a celestial body, not just a material body. Okay, so here I wanted to add this image as per the, this is a representation of god of Rahu, which is this one with the Rahu and Ketu is like I said, it's a single body, it's a single axis, right? Is the 2 point of the single axis, so it's the same body, singular body. So Rahu is the head of a serpent, and this serpent is not just any serpent as per the mythological. This serpent is a self-actualized serpent, so it's a very spiritual serpent who lives under the ocean, because and it is governed by this serpent is governed by the god Airbudnia, which is like sit under the ocean to really like take all the weights of the world, take all the weights of the world. So that's why Rahu-Ketu is the center point of our life experience. Rahu-Ketu is like I said, it really revolves around our whole environment that it creates. So Rahu is the head and the Ketu is the body. So in our popular understanding of Rahu and Ketu, we often hear that Rahu is north node. North node is a point of illusion, and south node is something that we already know. We have already done it. We already have enough knowledge of it, understanding of it, or something. But as per my research and own understanding, I found this claim absolutely baseless and kind of misleading. And because of why I'm telling you, so Rahu, if Rahu is anything, Rahu is absolutely original. So this Rahu, like presented by our head. So let's say Rahu is our head. Let's say, like I wanna relate this image to our own body. If Rahu is our head and Ketu is our body, we say that our whenever Rahu is illusional, like Rahu has this greed and this we always put a lot of negativity towards Rahu, because we feel like, oh, it doesn't have body, so it does not know how to experience things, so it just dream and doesn't know how to actualize it, what is the effect of the dream, so it just floats in the air, that it floats in the air. But that's not totally true at all, because Rahu and Ketu, as you say, it's the same as we say already, it's a singular body. So it does have understanding of what's going on, but what Rahu wants to do, Rahu wants to show you the Rahu wants to take you Rahu wants to take you outside of our daily routine. So before we get into this, I just want to mention one more thing. And Rahu gets all this bad rap. Rahu and Ketu both gets all this bad rap, because when all these things were written in those are written by sages. In that time, anything, I think that lot of things got lost in translation by the time it came over to us. So it is our responsibility also to read those knowledge with full responsibility, and not just take all those words for granted, whosoever trying to teach us something. So it's like I feel like when at that time, maybe doing something like at the time, maybe, oh, leaving your family and going abroad to study, oh, that's a Rahu, you are completely destroyed, but you are thinking like Rahu, something bad is happening at the time, because they are astrology always needs to understand in context of the society that we are living in. But So maybe that's why in astrological term Rahu always gets a negative thing. But you know, in our where we are right now, it's a Rahu is something that is very original. It is original. It wants to take you outside of your comfort zone. Why it does that? Because always remember, Rahu and Ketu is the shadow points of moon orbit. And like I showed it to you in the chakras, moon is the only chakra, the moon, crown chakra is the only chakra which is ruled by moon, is outside of our body. So Rahu Ketu, what it does, because in order to really actualize, in order to really understand oneself, one needs to go outside of oneself. Otherwise it's just a full of ego shit, you know. We all know that now, you know. So the Rahu, that's why Rahu, it does, it takes us outside of ourselves. And when we are outside of ourselves, you know, when we are like, let's say, I'm just going to give you a very basic example. When Rahu, you know, Rahu, like let's say Rahu will provoke us to do something that we haven't done. Like it has to be original to ourselves. It maybe somebody else have done that, but you might not have done that, I might not have done that. Like let's say if you are coming from a very small town, maybe going to New York or going to big cities like Tokyo, San Francisco, or something like that, that is something very unique of your family. But when you go to New York, you say, oh, I'm not the only one. There's like 3 million more people are living there, and you know, they have already done it for a last 100 years. You know, like something like that. So you know, like Rahu and Ketu will bring something original that is to ourselves, not comparable. So Rahu is very original. Rahu, you know, our mind, because our mind is ruled by moon, so our mind is very original. You know, we get so many thinking, right? So many thoughts. Most of the innovative thoughts. That's why I say, you know, like every innovation comes with an idea. It comes with an idea but not get executed just by idea, but it comes with an idea. So the moon, because moon, again, remember, moon is our crown chakra open to a cosmos idea, the outside of the box idea, outside of the box is existence, outside of the box perspective, therefore comes through moon, comes through mind. So that's why Rahu is the original planet which will, you know, I'm not, this is not an astrological video, so I'm not going to get into how Rahu going to act in different sign and everything. This is not the purpose of this video. The purpose of this video to truly understand the energy behind this Rahu and Ketu axis. So Rahu, let's say Rahu is the wild child, lives in the jungle. Rahu is the Rahu, our mind is so open. Our, you know, we everybody, we are very, if our pure mind is very adventurous, very open, because it's and very in tune with the sense of present, because our mind is the crown chakra is related to cosmos, and cosmic event happen always in the present tense. Cosmic event doesn't happen in future, cosmic event doesn't happen in past, cosmic event is deeply rooted in the present. So that's why moon is exalted in Taurus, and that's why our mind is by default a very mindful element. So we know, you know, we don't we are practicing mindfulness, we are having huge difficulty in focusing because of lot of other things, but our mind in an ideal form is absolute state of harmony, absolute state of originality, absolute state of openness. So that's what Rahu is. Okay, so now we are talking about so let's say Rahu is our head, right? Rahu is our head, Ketu is our body. So when we're feeding through head, we are feeding through head, you know, whether you are feeding food, whether you're feeding ideas, whether you are feeding perception, whether you are feeding whatever we are feeding, you know, going somewhere, right? It's going somewhere. So when popular culture, popular astrology says that Rahu is just useless, like it's just an illusion because it doesn't feed into anything, that's not true. It's feeding into Ketu. It's feeding into Ketu because Ketu holds the body. So whatever you are doing in our mind, it's getting feeded into our body, and which is this is a very good understanding of how our body works, you know. So if you are feeding all this like negative energy, this and that is all getting into our body. So that's why, you know, in medical term, it's very, they say the disease first happens in mind, then it's manifested in body. That is like, really, you know, that statement is not just in Ayurveda, it's not just a holistic herbology, it's in every spectrum of medicinal study. They will say the disease first happened in mind and then it get manifested in body. And this is the simple example, simple manifestation of Rahu and Ketu axis. So Rahu, you know, like all this information, all this newness, you know, if it is, if it is, you know, whatever it focused on, you know, if it is focused on love, it just is not satisfied with you hold my hand, I hold my your hand, and we sign a paper and happy together. No, Rahu is like, okay, twin flame Rahu is like, okay, let's see where our soul, how our soul get entangled with each other. You know, like all this deep love, all this revolutionary love is come from Rahu, concept of our mind, our openness to mind, to the cosmos. Anyway, so all this feeding, we are feeding into Ketu, and you know, like feeding into our body, feeding into our body. So when we say in pop, I'm actually referring popular astrology because I personally feel it's very misleading when we say do not focus on Ketu, because Ketu you already mastered. We say this because we feel like, because body we can touch and feel, you know. Just take this example, always simplify knowledge and put it in your own body in order to really understand this body knowledge and kind of embed it in your body cellular memory, so that we really can activate this knowledge. Otherwise, if it is just cerebral, I'm just listening and not really embodying this knowledge into our body system, this knowledge just evaporates after a while. It really doesn't translate in practical application of our own wellness. So that's why I want to integrate this knowledge in a very bodily way. So let's think about Ketu, our body, right? So we feel like we know our body because we have access to touch it, we clean it, we can hug our body, we feel like we know our body. But do we really know our body? Ask yourself, ask ourselves, we need to ask ourselves, do we really know our body? If there is a headache, can you tell why we are having headache? This is our body, right? If there is a pain in our knee, can you tell why we are having pain in the knee? Unless we find, we know exactly, because we just fell down from the stairs a minute ago, now it is hurting. But if it is just, when there is a time lapse involved, can we really tell where it? Because if we don't pay attention, we don't pay attention much of our body, because we feel like we just take our body for granted. And that's exactly happens in a popular astrology. We feel like, oh, don't go focus on Ketu, we already mastered Ketu, we are the master of Ketu, focus on Rahu and your life will be different. But it's not true, it's the same thing. So we need to understand our body, we need to understand, because everything that's coming through Rahu, everything that's coming through our mind is feeding directly into our body. So let's say, Rahu, our body, our head is our mind, right? Our mind is open, our mind is open, our mind is thinking about all this revolutionary thing that we can do. But we are completely closed off, we are completely closed off in our body. Hold on, I need to go back to this chakra. So now say our, this is our Rahu, right? Rahu is about this moon. And we feel like, and Ketu is our body. Look what we have in our body, we have all the other thing, all the other chakras in our body, which is circulating within our material body, right? So moon is getting, Rahu is getting all this idea. Then, but in order to, but it's feeding where? It's feeding into our body, feeding into Ketu. And if we are blocked, let's say if we are very blocked in our crown chakra, that means we get extremely paranoid by a little bit of changes. We don't, if like, because always remember again, I want to talk, you remember I told you to remember this word environment. Because you know what Rahu-Ketu is? Rahu-Ketu is the environment within which the self travels. So you know, so moon, you know, moon, what is doing? Moon is interacting with the environment in order to actualize the soul energy, right? So moon is dealing with all this kind of environment, whether it's an environment in the, whatever environment we find ourselves, moon is the one who is interacting. And moon is very wise, moon is very wild, moon is fearless, moon is it's like our head, like right on the crown chakra, it's sitting, our moon. And so moon is getting all this interacting with the environment. But if our body is not, like let's say moon is we are in a situation in a forest, we are in a situation in a we are in the we find ourselves in the deep forest at night, new environment, oh my god, I don't know what to do, right? Our body, our moon is like, okay, it's fine. Moon, always remember, moon is always in the moment, because moon is exalted in Taurus, right? So moon, natural essence of moon is being in the moment. So when moon is being in the moment in the forest, I'm just giving you an example, in an environment, so moon is not panicking. Moon is not panicking, but moon is getting this information, translating into, transferring to our body. And if if we are not attuned with our body, if we are, if we are predisposed to fear, and we never really paid attention how our body evolved and how our body react, we just feel like, oh, darkness at night in the forest equivalent to fear. If we are predisposed to this fear element, our body, even though moon is very harmonical, moon is saying, okay, stay in the moment, we'll figure it out. That's what moon does. Moon always manages things. Moon is a rescuer, because moon ultimate thing is to being one with one. So when you are one with things, there is no fear, there is only love. Moon only wants to take us to the love energy. But when it translates this information into body, our body, if our chakras are, if our body other element are not trained, are not very well nurtured, it creates a different kind of signal. So it creates fear, it creates paranoia, and then we do, like, we get anxious, we get, then we start running, and then we feel like the trees are our enemy, night is our enemy, darkness is our enemy, and animals are our enemy. Then we feel full with fear, and we try to rush out this jungle as soon as possible, and that creates a havoc strain on our body, and it collapses. Either we get and find ourselves unconscious, and then we are so paralyzed by fear. So you see how things are happening. So that's what Ketu is. That is, like, Ketu is about our body. So it is very important. We don't know Ketu. We and Ketu is also the gateway to moksha. Moksha means what? Again, moksha is self-knowing, knowing oneself, knowing the soul energy. So in order to really soul energy, know to soul energy, only just getting information from the cosmos is not enough. That is feeding into our body. So it is very important that we pay attention to our body in order to transmute that energy that we are receiving from Rahu end, and transmuting that energy in our body to create that holistic harmony between Rahu and Ketu, so that we are completely vibing with soul energy, with oneness, which is without fear. So that's why we need to pay attention to our body. It is very important to pay attention to our bodily instinct, bodily reaction, bodily responses towards certain situation. When this, like, when, what happened when all this, if our body is completely, if we are not paying attention, if we are not in tune with our body senses, if we are not in tune with our body vibration to a certain situation, with the environment, because we are, soul is our will, moon is our, our capability to transmute the energy that available in the current environment in order to get to the soul energy, right? So willpower is not enough all the time. Maybe we have a lot of willpower to do something, but if our environment is completely constantly crashing us, it's very difficult to get to our, just go through by will energy. It can be very tiring. So it is important to pay attention to Ketu very much. get, because, but we there is a balance. This transmutation of energy, this transmutation of energy happens never just focusing on one over another. It always happen in balance. So how to make that balance, how to make that balance so that our third eye can open up and we can see ourselves from outside of ourselves. Again, going back to this example of the forest, right? So we find ourselves in the forest. Nobody attacked us. There is no bear, there is no lion, there is no tiger that we can see of that attacking us. But we know the forest is full of wild animals. And but in this knowledge that wild animals equals to enemy, wild animals equals to they want to kill us, that is a wrong perception completely. So in order to see ourselves from outside of our pathological knowledge, that generational trauma, we need to activate soul energy. Because that's why when like in that scenario, if we just see ourselves from outside of ourselves without fear, then we'll see, okay, we are just another creature in this nature. If we don't harm anybody, nobody will harm us, hopefully. If we keep it, if we are in tune with our moments, if we pay attention, if we are in tune our body sensation, if we are not overwhelmed by fear, we will be coexisting in this nature, in this forest, because we are just another creature, like cat, like owl, like parrot, like deer, in this forest. Yes, it is not our natural habitat like a lion, but we are not alien into this nature. We are grew out of this earth. We know this. This knowledge comes from this disposition of third eye outside of ourselves when there is no fear. In order to really think of one energy, in order to really think of fearless energy, we need to get ourselves outside of ourselves. But in order to do that, in order to, because those two chakras at the top, in order to do that, in order to go to that state, we need to focus on our body, because our body have lot of generational trauma. And we don't realize that how generational trauma get embodied in our body. Like our mom, let's say our mom has been they have been deprived of, like, let's say we come from a family where our the women in the family was deprived of food, or the men or of the family was always was exposed to violence. Even if we are not exposed to violence ourselves, but we have seen those, we have experienced those in a subconscious, in a cellular level, so we have those kind of trauma embedded in our body. And that is what Ketu is. When we purify, not purify, when you purify is not in a like pure state. What is pure state? Purify means when you get to know our body, how our body respond to certain situation, that means we are nurturing our Ketu. When we nurturing our body and we see open, keep our mind open like Rahu, we are in perfect harmony. So never say that, okay, Ketu is something we don't have to think about. Ketu is something where all the intake of from the mouth is going into, it's all going into our body. So this is very important to understand our body through energy. And in order to understand energy, we need to understand the body response to energy. Because I, like in my first class, in masterclass, I talked about like how if we are not aware of our body, most of the time, that inclination that we get in the form of energy, and we say, oh, I have this gut feeling, I have this vibe, I have this intuition, this person is that, this situation is this. We need to ask ourselves, is this perception is biased? Is it the projection of my own body fear that I haven't paid attention to in last 15 years? Or is it a real objective view, because I am seeing myself outside of myself, therefore I am just a funnel channeling energy, therefore there is no fear, so there is no fearful projection, there is only love. So whenever I'm getting energy, I am taking them for what it is, again the Taurian energy, what it is. So we need to ask all these things. So that's why I really thought that this is very important to do this Rahu Ketu axis, that how Rahu Ketu axis really tells us to how to pay attention to our mind and how to connect that mind to our body impulses in order to really nurture our body, so that we can be completely vibing with our soul energy. And soul energy does not come from, okay, it's not just sitting on the like some kind of temple and some kind of stairs and feel like love, love, love everywhere and ignore everything. That's not soul energy. Soul energy manifests through mind and body. That means we have to go through a lot of things that may not be comfortable. We have to go through a lot of things that may not be, that can be taboo, which can, a lot of things. But in order to see all this, in order to see all this in the light of oneness, in the light of Vishnu energy, the light of soul energy, that is what really balance means. So the last but not the least, I want to talk about, like, so which one to, many people say, like, so which one to focus on, Rahu or Ketu, which one to focus on? So you tell me which one to focus on after all this. Focus on your mind, focus on the moon, focus in the present, because your body is not going anywhere, your mind is already open to openness. But in order to access this what already exists, we need to see ourselves in the realm of present and also in the point of outside of ourselves. So focus on your, these two things, Rahu and Ketu, gonna work on its own, because these are, we cannot ignore Rahu and Ketu, we cannot ignore our south node and north node. It's gonna be, this is the orbit that's gonna be moving on and on and on and on and on and creating this point all over our life. We just need to take this, we just need to really be in the present and take this energy and transmute this energy for our own betterment, for this solar energy, for this soul energy balance. Okay, I'm gonna stop it here, and I hope that you get something out of it, and I will talk to you later. Okay, take care, bye.